and welcome back to another Learning from Home video. I hope you're all doing well no matter where in the world you are watching from. Today in this video we are learning all about personification. But what does it mean? Maybe we could use our brains to look for a base word or a word in the word personification that might help us. Yes, you got it. The base word is person, so that kind of gives us a clue. What is personification? Personification is a language feature used in creative writing that gives objects or animals a quality that only a human has. Personification can be portrayed through an object's emotions or actions that take a human form. So, when we're talking about objects, we're talking about things that are not humans. For example, an object or creature can be classed as non-human as long as it's not a person. This can include things such as cars, clouds, flowers, animals, bees, lizards, chairs, the list goes on. So it's a very helpful and creative tool when we're doing our writing. Why do we use personification? It is often used to create interest in writing. It helps the reader relate to the actions or emotions that are being shown in the object or creature's actions. It is used in writing and poetry, often to bring non-human things to life. As you can see, this moon and this plane have given nice little faces, and that makes them more relatable for us. But I don't think that the moon and planes actually have cute little faces. It's just an example. Let's have a look at some examples of personification. Now the first one, it's going to be doing with some stars like this picture here. The first one is, the stars smiled at me. Now stars don't really have cute little faces on them so they can smile at us, but it does paint a really nice picture of looking up at the stars and the stars are feeling like they're smiling down at us. And like I said before, it makes it more relatable if we're thinking about them having smiles just like people do. Let's have a look at another one. The wind yelled. Again, wind can't really yell because it doesn't have a voice. But the wind sounds like it's yelling the same way a human does, even though it cannot actually yell. This helps us to understand what the wind would have sounded like because we know what a person yelling sounds like. Does that make sense? So if we're using personification, it's kind of tapping into our brain of things we already know. We know what it sounds like when a person is yelling, so it makes it easier to understand if we say the wind is yelling. Alright, now it's time to create some of our own personifications. Over here on the screen I've got some examples. They've got a little bit missing and you can help me to fill these in. So think of a personification you could use in these sentences by giving these objects human-like actions. The car lights something at me. The flowers something in the wind. Thunder something through the sky. So we're going to be using some personification, so that is human-like or people-like actions to put into those sentences there to make that personification. So, I wonder if you were able to think of any personifications that you could put into those sentences. Here are some examples that I have done. The car lights winked or blinked at me. So, car lights can't actually wink or blink because they don't have eyes, but humans can wink and blink, and using that personification describes what the car lights were doing and it makes it more relatable in our heads. The next one is, the flowers played or danced in the wind. Again, the flowers aren't really dancing, but by saying that they played or danced in the wind, it paints a nice picture of what those flowers were doing. Next one, thunder screamed or yelled through the sky. Like we said before with the wind, it can't really scream or yell because it doesn't have a voice. But people do have a voice, and we know what it sounds like when people scream or yell, so that paints a nice picture when we are talking about the thunder. Right, Now that we've gone through some examples, it's time for you to start writing. Here is your activity. You're going to write a short story or a poem describing the sky on a stormy night. You can use personification for the way that the objects in the sky are acting. Objects on a stormy night could include the clouds, thunder, lightning, rain, wind, trees, stars, the moon. There are so many more ideas. So you can go back through the video to have a look at other personification examples that we have done, or I've put some links below that show you some other videos that also talk about personification. So you can use all those examples to write your short story or poem using personification, talking about a stormy night sky. Alright, you have fun with that activity, and remember there are lots of other learning from home or distance learning videos on the YouTube channel, The Touring Teacher. So make sure you head over there and have a look at some of those as well. And I'll see you soon.